Welcome to the Pre to Post Transplant Podcast, a podcast that brings personal stories from transplant survivors, their families, friends, and loved ones. This is where you will hear challenges and triumphs of everyone involved in this journey. Our guests will offer wisdom, advice, and inspiration on everything you want to know about transplant. My name is Jenny McFarland. I am a transplant survivor, and this is a podcast I wish I had before and immediately following my transplant. Thank you for listening. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pre to Post Transplant Podcast. This is Jenny McFarland, your host, and it is finally here. The wait is over. I was finally able to get all of the stories from the Transplant Games edited into one episode, and it took a lot longer because there were so many, and all of these stories that you're about to hear are incredible. You know, the Transplant Games of America is such an incredible event. It's so amazing to be able to see and meet so many different people. And for those of you who came up and introduced yourself and said, hey, I listened to your podcast, I really appreciate you doing that because it meant so much to me to know that you listen and that you came up to meet me. And I was so happy to meet you. You know, my slogan for the podcast is come tell your side of the story. And I feel like this episode truly brings that into play because every story in here, every story that you're about to hear is part of the same story. So everybody is going through the same thing, essentially. We're all part of this huge but small transplant community, and we all have the same story, but we have a different version of it. And so that's where come tell your side of the story comes in. Because when you hear one of these stories and you're part of this community, you're going to be able to relate to it in some way. And so these stories that you're going to hear are just the most incredible, like the things that people have gone through, the things that people are still going through, the loss, the joy, the gift of life. It's just so incredible. And that's what I love about the Transplant Games is I get to meet all of these wonderful people and hear all of these wonderful stories. So I can't wait to share with you. Just keep in mind that there is a lot of background noise because we were, of course, at the Transplant Games and we were in a room. There's a few of them that they're singing in the background because we were right across from the Lyrics for Life, which was really amazing. We got to hear all of those singing, but now some of you are going to get to hear it too. So just keep that in mind that it is a little bit different from my other episodes just because of there was a packed filled with people. So with that, I am going to go ahead and just jump into this episode. I hope you love it. I hope you can relate to it. And I hope that it touches your heart as much as it touched mine. So with that, enjoy.
Hello, my name is Michael Wells, and I'm from Colorado on Team Rocky Mountain. We consist of organ transplant recipients from Colorado, Montana, Wyoming. And I received my liver transplant 24 and a half years ago. And I'm still here, and I'm very grateful for that from my anonymous liver donor. I say a prayer to them every day.
My name is Kayla Sanders, and I am from Springfield, Missouri. I received a double lung transplant 10 and a half years ago, and since then I have competed in 5 Transplant Games of America and did my first triathlon at 8 months post-transplant. After 10 and a half years, I heard from my donor family this past April, and I finally get to meet them in August. And I am super excited to thank them in person for the gift of life.
My name is Tina, and I am a bilateral lung transplant recipient. I received a lung transplant 11 and a half years ago, and since then I've been able to travel the world with my mother. How you doing today, Mom?
I'm here. Some of the hardest challenges of being a caregiver supporter is being a mother and a support her and making her do her things. I am so proud of her that she actually does what she's supposed to do. I'm coming to the Transplant Games because I get to see a lot, but most of all because we meet a lot of people who are in the same situation as we are. And I honor the donor families because we have a donor and she was only 18.
My name is Janet Ramsey and I'm from Sauk Prairie, Wisconsin. I am a donor mom. I honor my son Chris by coming to the Transplant Games. I come here because I remember him and honor him for what he gave. He gave the gift of life to many deserving people, and I'm so grateful that I can remember him that way.
Hello, my name is Stan Smith, and I'm with Team Alabama. And I'm doing this in honor of my late wife. She was a heart and lung transplant at UAB in 1989. And then in 1999, she received a kidney transplant and was the first of the heart and lungs to receive the kidney. But one thing she loved to do was talk to people, so we were involved with a support group at the hospital there almost 30 years. Unfortunately, she passed away in 2007, but we had 18 extra years because of two donors, a deceased donor and a living donor. And her living donor was her sister. And her sister is participating in the games with us this year.
My name is Kimberly Davis, and I'm from here in Birmingham, Alabama. I transplanted on October 31st, 2023, and here at UAB here in Birmingham.
Hi, my name is Daria. I am from Michigan. I received a double lung transplant about 2.5 years ago. And since then, I have gone back to veterinary school and I will be graduating next May.
Hi, my name is Rowan Seebeck and I am from Belton, Texas. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because I get to meet all these new people and new organizations who will tell me what they do and how they keep their donor's life going. And I love it so much because it introduced me to swimming and all the great stuff I'm doing today.
My name's Ryland Day. I'm from Andalusia, Alabama. I received a heart transplant 5 years ago. Since then, I've been a lot better and thriving.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I'm honoring my son John, and he died in 2010. But my memory of him is that I was fortunate enough to have him for 46 wonderful years. He was a great son, and I miss him terribly. But I'm here at the games. Thank you.
Hey y'all, this is Kate from Wisconsin. Before I received my double lung transplant, I worked full time, so I'm no longer doing that, and I received a transplant 5 years ago, and since then I've gone to Disney with my grandchildren, I've been able to go camping, and I'm here today at the Transplant Games in Birmingham, Alabama. So if you're wondering if transplant's for you, it's for you. You just go and do it.
My name is Trebawan Prasad. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I'm here to honor my son. My son's name was Anand Prasad. He died by a car accident and he became a organ donor in 2005. My favorite memory of Anand, he was always cheerful and giving, and he enjoyed life. I enjoy coming to the transplant game for a number of reasons. One, to honor him. Two, to see the recipients and their ability to share their gifts for donor family to share. So it's always a blessing to come to the Transplant Games.
My name is Olivia and I am from Alabama. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because I get to spend time with family and one of my good friends from Transplant Games.
My name is Kay Dorsey, and I'm from South Carolina. My hero's name is William B.J. Sigafus. He is my son, and at 26 years old passed away in a tragic motorcycle accident, but gave life when he was able to donate his heart, liver, and kidneys. So please sign up to be an organ donor, and remember, you will never become a was, you will always be an is, because wases get forgotten and you will never be forgotten.
My name is Nick Gianamore. I'm from Farmington Hills, Michigan. I'm a two-time kidney transplant recipient. I received a kidney transplant back in 1992. That's about 32 years ago. And since then, I needed another one. Back in 2013, I needed another transplant. I received another one from my deceased donor. I'm doing very well, and I do volunteer work with the Gift of Life of Michigan. And also back in 2019, I got in contact with the donor family, and I know a lot about her. She's a nurse. She used to be studying for a nurse. She was a volunteer helping animals. And the biggest thing, she was my donor and my angel.
Hi, my name is Victoria Schmalstig, and I am from Ohio.
I am Tony Schmalstig, and I'm also from Ohio.
We are both actually kidney recipients from our brothers.
I received my kidney in March 16th of 1984, 40 years.
And I received mine 3/4 of 03, so I'm 21 years out. And we actually met at the Transplant Games and are now married.
Hello, my name is Irene Mara. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona area. Before my transplant, I was a teacher. I received a transplant 9 years ago, and since then I have volunteered for Donate Life, Volunteer of the Year. I have been bowling for the last 8 years, and I have a new puppy. Advice I would give someone pre-transplant is ask about all the meds and also which one to identify. I also would tell you, do not eat sweets or salty stuff, because then it will stick with you all the time. Stay away from them. Try to manage your diet. And exercise. Always exercise. Keep moving. Message that I would give to someone considering organ donation is, again, check your meds. Check out your transplant area. And if you're going to have to move, consider it something you might have to do all the time for every 3 months. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because I went to the World Games and met everybody at the World Games, so now I know all these people, but I love being at the Transplant Game and competing in a sport that I work on every day. I do know my donor family. Honor them by doing what I do every day. This is my purpose. Bradley Windenberg, you are my hero. For the last 9 years, I could not have done this without you. You walk with me every day, and every day we wake up. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because, again, I can see all my friends, and this is a new life that you have now. And I appreciate my new life every day. Thank you.
What's your name?
Barbara.
And where are you from?
I'm Mississippi.
Oh, you're from Mississippi? And are you a transplant recipient?
Mm-hmm.
What did you get transplanted?
Kidney and liver.
A kidney and a liver. Wow. How long ago was that?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. And how are you feeling?
I have living donors.
Oh, yeah, the living donor. Okay. Do you know who your living donor is? 2 of them? You've met them?
Joey and Missy.
Joey and Missy. And how are you feeling?
Good.
Are you having a good time at the Transplant Games?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be competing in anything?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to compete in?
The Olympiad and the 5K.
Awesome. Well, it was great to meet you. You have a great time, okay?
podcast.
My name is Mia Collins, and I am from Central New York. And today I honor my brother, Robert Somerville. And just want to take a second to say I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because with this experience, I feel like his memory has lived on.
Hey, my name is Angie, and I'm from Mississippi. I'm on Team Alabama this time. This is my first games. I received my transplant 10 months ago, so I barely made the cutoff for the games. Got a liver, and just praise the Lord for the donor family. Thank you so much. I would love to meet them, and just want to tell everybody to just please enjoy the games and have fun and try to stay as cool as you can. And thank you for all the donors and their families and everyone involved with all the transplant process from beginning to end, doctors and staff and nurses and everyone. So thank you.
Holly Fackrell. I'm from Utah, and I have two recipients in my family. One's a heart transplant, and I have a great-grandson who is a double liver transplant.
And why do you like coming to the games?
This is my first game.
Oh, and how has it been going so far?
It's absolutely wonderful. It's great. It's a lot of spirit.
How you doing? My name is Dennis Thomas. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm a heart transplant recipient. I am so blessed to be at this event at the 2024 Transplant Games of America. I received my heart transplant 2009, December 13th, and I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adnan, and I'm from Connecticut. I'm here to sponsor Yale New Haven Hospital.
Hi, my name is Mary, and I am from New York. I received 2 kidney transplants. The first one was when I was 5 years old, January 30th, 1987, and the second one was May 5th, 1995, when I was 12 years old.
Hello, my name is Jared Arnold. They sometimes call me Jared the Man with 2 Hearts or Mr. 2 Heart. Before I received my transplant, I was suffering from cardiomyopathy, and I received my transplant about 2 years ago on March 27th, 2022. And when I was in the hospital, my mom showed me a picture of this man on Facebook who, after his surgery, he took a picture holding his old heart after his surgery. I told my mom, hey, I want to do that. That sounds like a good story. And so my mom asked Integris Hospital if I could get that done, and they said yes. But they said only if we send it to a funeral home. My mom asked Integris, well, if we're sending it to a funeral home, are y'all gonna pick it back up, or what's gonna happen? And the health official responded, we're just gonna let him keep it. So my mom came up with the idea of putting it in a jar, and that's what we did at the funeral home. And at the funeral home, put it in the jar, put a chemical in to preserve it for decades to come, and sealed the lid shut. And I keep it as a symbol of my transplant journey and story, and help it to motivate others to go on. You know, some who might be waiting in the hospital, it's a symbol of hope for others who may have lost hope you know, are having a hard time, you know, it encourages them to keep going and have a better life afterwards. Gives them something to hope for or hold on for. And you know, maybe they could have it done depending on if their health clinic allows that. If the health clinic allows it, you know, maybe I could meet them some other time and we can share our stories together. And share our organs in a jar, you know, if they ever got one. Sometimes my family makes jokes about my heart in a jar. It's like, well, it'll always be #1 prize for a Halloween display, or put it in a Halloween contest, you know, or sometimes we make a joke, if I have children and grandchildren down the line, who's gonna get the jar after I'm gone, you know. That Heart in a Jar's been to Arkansas, Alabama, and it's been throughout Oklahoma when I've showed it to friends and family. And that's how I got the name Jared the Man with Two Hearts, or Mr. Two Heart. And there's one name that's reserved for my old age. Some friends came up with it, Old Man Two Heart. That's reserved for my elderly stages when I have a full head of gray hair down the line. So that's my story on it. Yep, I'm sticking to it.
Hi, my name is Erin. I am originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, but I currently live in San Diego. I'm with Team SoCal. This is my 3rd Transplant Games with Team SoCal, so really excited to be here. What inspired me to become a living donor was just the awareness. When I was a kid, I used to get in trouble a lot, and part of my punishment was reading the dictionary and encyclopedias, and I had read about organ donation as a kid, and so my mom said I went to her when I was like 7 or 8 and asked if I could be a kidney donor, and my mom never really said no to me, so she was like, sure. But of course you can't donate an organ at 8 years old, so that kind of went like out of sight, out of mind until I was in my early 20s. I think I was like 25, and I saw someone on Facebook looking for a kidney for their dad. So I responded, did the general questions, and then from there did the blood tests and all the other fully extensive workups to see if I was a donor. So I donated my kidney to technically a stranger. I did not know them at the time. A friend of a friend had like reshared the post, and then that's how I saw it. So yeah, it was directed donation, but to a stranger. Advice I'd have for someone considering living donation: I think just do your research, and really making sure that you're aware that your gift is a gift. You don't get to decide what happens to it after. It's very interesting to me when I have conversations with people later who are like, well, what if they don't take care of it? And like, what if they drink? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I gave it knowing that they're going to do whatever they want with it. Like, sure, we hope they protect it, but you don't get a say in how people live their lives. And as a donor, you're not playing God. Like, we don't get to choose, and everyone is as deserving of life. It doesn't matter how old you are, what color you are, what sexual orientation you are. Like, it's an organ. Like, we need them, we need them. So sharing is caring, and I strongly believe that. So I think that's why I'm a living donor. And I donate regularly. So Monday we're doing a blood drive. If you know of anybody here who wants to donate blood, you can always be a blood donor even if you're not an organ donor. There's always ways to save lives. So.
My name is Bethany Ferguson, and I'm from Team New England, and I live in Rhode Island.
And I'm Michelle Passari. I'm from Team New England, and I live in Rhode Island. So I had a kidney transplant 17 years ago. I was diagnosed with a rare kidney disease. It was very fast and progressive. I was diagnosed in 2005 in August, and then January of 2017 I received my transplant, and then 17 years later I'm still doing great.
So I'm actually Michelle's sister, and I also had a kidney transplant, but mine was 5 years ago. So I had it kind of easier on my end because I had already had a family member that had gone through it. Both of us actually knew our donors. My sister's donor was our cousin's wife, and my donor was one of my good friends. So they pretty much gave us our lives back to us. They're our true heroes. But I love coming to the games just because you hear everybody's story and you see how the transplant community comes together, and you're not alone in this journey.
Hi, my name is Kathy Tarquinio, and I am from upstate New York, from the Finger Lakes, and I am a caregiver for a liver transplant. My husband got a liver transplant 6 years ago, and he is doing fantastic. And one thing that I would like other caregivers and supporters to know, that any feeling you are feeling is the right feeling. If you feel angry, if you feel guilt, if you feel happiness, everything is okay to have that feeling. Become part of a caregiving team. I know that I work on that helps to support caregivers, and it is a wonderful place to share stories and to know that you are not alone in your feelings.
I'm Jim Bryan from Team Wisconsin. I received a kidney from my brother 42 years ago. I had two other brothers that were willing to donate, but his was the best match. I was suffering from glomerulonephritis. I first found out I had the problem in 1966 when I went for my draft physical. Then my kidney function slowly got worse. I was on the traditional renal diet, low sodium, potassium, and protein. Finally, it got to the point where I was going to need the transplant. As I mentioned, I had two other brothers who were willing to donate. My brother Jerry was the best match. I had the choice of a couple different hospitals. Actually, I chose UW-Madison. I was fortunate that I never had to go on dialysis, although I had the fistula in. I was all ready if something might happen. My brother was a school teacher, so actually the transplant was done in June, so he did not lose any time off from work. Back then, the surgery was actually worse for my brother than it was for me. He had an incision from front to back. Part of his rib was taken out. And then also, I was actually in the hospital then for 3 weeks. Now some of them are getting out in 3 days. But my kidney function was good immediately after I had the transplant. Now it's 42 years later. I've been competing in the Transplant Games since 2004. I've competed in all the games since then, both U.S., World, Summer, and Winter. For these games, I did the 5K on Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing cycling and track, so it's going to be a busy day this year. And then I'm ending up doing trivia. I also team manager for Team Wisconsin. I've been team manager since things switched with the games in 2012.
Before I received my transplant, I was a hairstylist. I received a kidney transplant 21 years ago, and since then, I could meet my donor right now. I would tell them all about my life. Advice I would give to someone pre-transplanted: will be live life to the fullest and always be grateful. When I met my donor family, I was so happy. But my kidney wanted to go back to its normal family. But I told my kidney that it had to stay with me now. And a message I would give to someone considering organ donation: you are making the right choice of life. We need organs down here. Don't take your organs to heaven. God knows we need organs right down here to help save lives. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because this is a place where people just like me, we meet up every 2 years to celebrate life and to make awareness of the shortage of organ donations. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, welcome to the podcast. What's your name?
Chris.
And where are you from, Chris?
Salt Lake City.
And why are you here at the games?
To participate in the activities and be amongst other transplant recipients.
And you're a recipient, so what did you have transplanted?
I had a heart transplant.
Heart transplant, how long ago?
September will be 6 years.
Awesome. Anything you want to say to somebody who's considering registering to be an organ donor?
Do it. Please, please. If at all possible, it allows people like us to watch our kids graduate, whatever.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
My name is Barbara Breckenridge, and I'm from Buffalo, New York. I received a kidney transplant 25 years ago, and I just received my 25th year jersey for the Quarter Century Club yesterday. So I'm so grateful and happy. I never thought I would see 25 years, and here I am, and I'll be competing tomorrow in track and field as I have done since 2002. So I haven't met my donor family or donor, but I'm meeting a lot of donor families here that has become my family. So I hug, I kiss them, and I thank them for what they have done. Even though they did not give me the gift of life, they gave it to someone. So I'm grateful for all of them.
My name is Amy Cornett, and I'm from Indiana, but I'm part of Team Kentucky. My son Colin Cornett, Pete 49, was a donor to 49 people in 16 states in July of 2012. I've met three people, and I keep contact with the heart all the time.
My name is Trish Phillips, and I am from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am the Executive Director of Multicultural Miracle Donor Foundation. Yes, that's a mouthful, so that's MMDF, better known as. I happen to be a living kidney donor. I donated almost 8 years ago to a close friend of mine, my left kidney. And my mission now is to make being an organ donor, a person of color as I am, less rare and less unicorn. So I want to let everyone know it's okay to be a living kidney donor and debunk some of the medical myths, and just to bring diversity, help prevent the reason why there are 105,000 people waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, but 60% are people of color from multicultural communities. So I want to bring awareness that chronic kidney disease can be managed or prevented by knowing your numbers, preventing diabetes, high blood pressure, which are just some of the risk factors. So that's why I'm here and my new mission. And I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games. This is my first one, but I'm happy to network with everyone. Thank you for listening to my story.
My name is Emily, and I am from South Carolina. I received a kidney transplant 9 months ago, and since then I have been able to live life. It has been amazing. I have a living donor, which was my sister-in-law and best friend, and she selflessly gave me a kidney, and I couldn't be more grateful for it. This is my first time at the Transplant Games of America, and I couldn't be more excited to be here, meet others, and just fellowship with one another throughout these games.
My name is Kat. I am a donor mom from California. I lost my 11-year-old son 6.5 years ago. Through that, I found out that his blood type was B positive, so that's what we do now. We come out into this world and we choose to be positive. Through that tragedy, he was actually able to save 5 lives, both of his kidneys, his liver, his pancreas, and both of his heart valves. There are now 5 families, whole and healthy, living their very best life because of my superhero.
My name is Raquel, and I am from California, and I honor Brittany by being here at the Transplant Games. Brittany became a hero in 2008. She saved 3 lives, and she enhanced the lives of over 50 others with her gift of life.
Good afternoon. My name is Cheryl Gay, and I'm from Waynesboro, Georgia. I was 38 years old when I got sick with heart disease. Now, the first doctor told me I had anxiety. But then when I got so sick, I went into the hospital and they diagnosed me as having congestive heart failure. Put me on lots of medicine and told me to go home for a year and stay in the bed and do nothing. 3 weeks later, I actually dropped dead in my kitchen floor with just my children, ages 10, 14, and 15, home. The ambulance came quickly, shocked me 5 times, completed CPR. I died again on the way to the hospital. And when we arrived, the doctors told my family I had a 5% chance of living, and if I did, I would be severely brain damaged. Fast forward, I survived wonderfully. I got my first defibrillator, and over the next 8 years, I got 3 more defibrillators, and I maxed out on all the medications that are given you to treat congestive heart failure and dilated cardiomyopathy, which was my diagnosis. And then my doctor told me it was time to think about getting a transplant. So off to Emory University I went, was evaluated, and declared that it was time, yes, for me to list for transplant. So we got ready. My listing, after 3 weeks, put me in the hospital for the next 3 weeks. And then one night the doctor walked in and said, "Cheryl, your heart is on the way." My family arrived, and we had prayer for that donor family, and we shared memories because I knew myself I was in a win-win situation. I'd been so sick I couldn't walk across the floor. My high blood pressure was 60/40. So this was going to be a gift, and either I was going to wake up after the transplant feeling good for the first time in 8 years, or I was going to wake up in the arm of Jesus. So I knew I was in a win-win situation. Well, that surgery only took 4 hours. The next day, I was off the vent that afternoon. Next day, sitting in a chair. The next day, walking. Discharged in a week, and I was walking a mile in 3 weeks. Fast forward again, for the next 8.5 years, my life was wonderful. I had a lot of firsts. At year 5, I got to meet my donor family. My donor was 28 years old. He was an artist, a wonderful artist. And come to find out, his mother and my daddy went to high school together in a little town called Wadley, Georgia. And his mother graduated with my Uncle Kenneth. So they knew my roots, I knew their roots, and we became fabulous, fast friends. But then, one day after my heart cath, I found out I had a small blockage in the bottom of the heart. And the doctors explained to me that that was the beginning of an unknown cause rejection called allograft vasculopathy. So they tried to treat it, and then it became untreatable. And to live, I was going to have to list for a second heart transplant. At first, I wasn't going to do it because I knew too many people that was waiting on their first. And I said, I can't have a second until they have their first. But I realized that I had to give God's will for my life a chance. This time was totally different. I was on the list for 18 months, in the hospital waiting for almost 8 months, had every complication you could think of while I was in the hospital. My kidney failed, and they told me I would be getting a kidney at the same time I got the heart. Finally, after 8 months of waiting, that opportunity came, and I was given a new heart and a new kidney. That surgery was 17 hours long. I couldn't get out of the, get off the vent. It took me a long while to learn how to re-walk and to learn how to take care of myself again. And now that has been 12 years. I'm a total person of 22 years post-transplant. I love life. I can do anything I need to do. And I know the reason that I had 2 different stories, so that now when I meet somebody waiting for a heart, I can be that face of hope. I can let them know short wait problems or goodness, and I can let them know the long wait goodness and problems. But the outcome was the same. Successful heart transplants and kidney transplant. I'm very blessed. And if you haven't registered for a donor, please do so. One of the most fun things about my life is coming to the Transplant Games of America. I've been coming since 2004. I've made lifelong friends, shed a few tears, shared a few laughs, and just have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you so much for listening. And again, this is Cheryl, a 2-time heart kidney recipient.
My name is Mona Castro, and I'm from California. My daughter Sarah had a heart transplant when she was 5 weeks old. She was the 85th baby to receive a heart transplant under 6 months of age at Loma Linda. She is now 33 years old. And most recently, well, it's been 6 years, she received a kidney. She was in renal failure from taking so many immunosuppressants. 6 years ago, she received a kidney from her baby cousin who passed away on his 4th birthday. So Sarah is a 2-time transplant recipient, and I am both part of a donor family and mother of a recipient.
Hi, my name is Missy Peterson. I'm from Rapid City, South Dakota. I had a double lung transplant 27 and a half years ago. And I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because it's like a huge family reunion where I get to see all the folks I've met from the past and meet new people and also meet new donor families. I have never met my donor, but I thank her every single day for the gift of breath that she's given me.
Hi, I'm Eileen Wagner, and I am from Deer Park, Texas. Before I received my transplant, I was deathly ill. I received a liver transplant 6 years ago, and since then, I'm able to see my family, my grandchildren, and everybody. If I could meet my donor right now, I would tell her, thank you, because there's no other words to say.
My name is Mimi Smith, and I am from Henning, Tennessee. Before I received my transplant, I was very, very sick on a ventilator for a while and didn't know if I was going to make it or not. I received a liver transplant 2 years ago, and since then I have regained my voice that I lost when they pulled the ventilator. I have started running again because I was an avid runner. And if I can meet my donor right now, I would tell him that I am so grateful that he decided to be a donor. My advice I would give to someone pre-transplant would be never give up hope. Always have joy in your heart, and your attitude is everything. A message I would give to someone considering organ donation is just do it. I enjoyed coming to the Transplant Games because I got to meet some amazing people and hear some amazing stories. Once you hear one story, you hear one even better and better and better. It just gets better. So I have truly been blessed since I have been here.
My name is Kim, and I am from Los Angeles area. And my grandson Malachi became a hero in 2011 by donating his heart, his liver, and both kidneys, and saved the lives of 4 people.
My name is Dr. Miguel Enrique Sewer. I live in the British Virgin Islands, Tortola. I received a liver transplant May of 1988. I don't know my donor's family. Back in those days, we weren't allowed to know that information. Currently, I think they are. Hardest challenges. The hardest challenges was the type of disease process I went through was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, as well as not normal liver disease. And so off and on, I've had some issues dealing with that, had chemo several times. But all in all, 36 years, I'm happy. God's blessed me. and I'm proud to be a transplant recipient.
My name is Ava Grace, and I'm from Oxford, Mississippi. And I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because I like to see how happy my aunt is and how grateful she is for everything and how far she's come since her transplant.
Okay, so I am here with
Bree Dugas
at the Transplant Games. And tell me a little bit about what you are. If you're a recipient, caregiver, supporter.
I'm a heart recipient, 23 years.
23 years heart recipient. That's amazing. So, why do you love coming to the Transplant Games?
I like coming just to be part of the team, enjoy all the activities, not just the sports that they have, but how it feels convention-y too, and there's all these groups that support us, and I just really, like making friends, hanging with the team, and experiencing all the new experience because there's something different every year.
How many Transplant Games have you been to?
I've missed a couple here and there, but I've been coming since I think it was about 3 years after my transplant, so like 2003 through 2004. So
awesome. One last question. What would you say to somebody who is thinking about registering to be an organ donor but hasn't yet?
It's really simple. Like at the DMV, like you just tell them yes. And honestly, it saves so many people. And, I think a lot of people lack some of the education on like what being an organ donor is. And they think that they're just going to like steal their organs. But like, I know you have to literally like be pronounced dead before they like take them if it's like that type of donation. And I know there's also living donor too, so like kidney and liver, like you can still live and like get to know your recipient, and like there's people on our team who are here with their donors, and it's just really something amazing and a gift that you can give.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
My name is Jessie Ninke, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I received a double lung transplant 31 and a half years ago, and since then I've just been thriving and happy and living life.
My name is Frank Avila, and I'm from New Orleans, and I'm a 2 times double lung transplant recipient and a 2 times kidney transplant recipient. My first double lung lasted 27 years, and I'm going on 1.5 years with my second. And my kidney is now 15 years, going from July 1st. I'm grateful for my donors, I'm grateful for my donor heroes, and I thank God for the breath in my lungs and everything that I can do now.
Hi, my name is Georgette Harold, and I'm from Missouri, Team MoCan, and I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because I get to meet other people and get to listen to their stories about transplant. And this year I decided that my son, who is a liver recipient, he didn't want to come this year, so I am here to volunteer and help out this year. So I am looking forward to that.
My name is Sejal, and I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I received a pancreas and kidney transplant and a second kidney. My first kidney and pancreas transplant was 15 years ago, and since then, and my second kidney was 3 years ago, and since then I've been able to pursue all my dreams and give back in ways that I couldn't imagine in terms of being a physician and sharing with others my story to help reinforce what transplant does for others and how the gift of donation can allow people to live longer and to pursue their dreams and live a life full of all their dreams and give back in other ways as well. I just want to say thank you for my donor and for allowing me to be here today and be able to see things and be around my family, my friends, and to be able to be here to give back and do what I was meant to be here for, and that's to work in transplant.
My name is Jason, and I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Before I received my transplant, I was born with an infection in my liver by the name of neonatal hepatitis. I received a liver transplant 35 years ago at the age of 1 year and 11 months old. And since then, I've been going strong, fighting a fight, taking it one day at a time. If I could meet my donor right now, I would tell them thank you, and words cannot describe how grateful I am, and I will always be. The advice I would give to someone pre-transplant would be to be patient, take time. It's a rough ride, but God doesn't give us more than we can handle. A message I would give to someone considering organ donation is to don't think twice. Do so, because you may never know if or when you may be in that position to need, or a close loved one, family, or friend may be. I enjoy coming to the Transplant Games because the amount of people that I've met who understand and see what I see being in this position. If only I would have known the Transplant Games existed. This is actually my first time coming, and Lord willing, I will be at every one until the end of time. Thank you to the Lord above and my donor family, to my mother and father in heaven watching down on me, with me every step of the way. Thank you for the love and support you've showed me. Thank you for guiding me, teaching me how to be strong and to never give up. I love you forever and always.
My name is Todd Hensel. I'm from Centerville, Tennessee. I'm a 7-organ transplant recipient. I'm 16 years out and doing very well. I currently work with cattle, and I enjoy what I'm doing. And I'm enjoying being around for my children since I've watched them graduate from high school and college. Anyone involved in the transplant community, I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate the support. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Karen Rosner, and I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I am a heart recipient of 18 years. And due to my transplant and also my heart condition, I wrote a book, and the name of my book is My 12 Hours Aren't Up Yet. And this is my first year with the Transplant Games. I'm participating in 5K and also pickleball. I'm enjoying this, and because of my donor, I am 18 years older, and I got to see my son graduate from high school. I want to thank my donor and thank UNOS and my transplant team. Thank you very much.
So my name is Matthew Bowles, and I'm from Arkansas. I received a heart transplant. Before I received my transplant, I was a healthy 17-year-old kid playing football and getting ready to go to college. And I received a LVAD in, what year was that? In 2014, I received an LVAD to help prolong my heart and keep me healthy, and for a long time I did well on that. And then in the year 2020, I received my heart transplant, and I was the first heart transplanted in Little Rock, Arkansas, post or during COVID.
Hello there, my name's Eric Harned, and I am from Columbus, Ohio, and I'm a double lung transplant recipient. If I could meet my donor right now, I would say, Rita, thank you for your sacrifice, thank you for your donation. You have helped put another 10 years on my life, and hopefully more, and I live every day to the fullest, knowing that you, Rita, it was because of you.
My name is Kimberly Lamey, and I am from Biloxi, Mississippi, and I am a living donor. My advice to anyone considering being a living donor is just to do it.
Hello, folks. My name's Joanne, and I'm from Trumbull, Connecticut. I am a manager of a team. I'm also a donor, aunt, and caregiver supporter to my wonderful husband of almost 50 years. So, what do I want other caregiver supporters to know? You'll get through it one day at a time. After the transplant, your life will change. Suddenly, your spouse or loved one will be starting to do everything on their own. And you then need to find something to take care of yourself. You need to do things for yourself because you've been dealing and doing for your recipient. That's it. I enjoy going to the transplant games because it's great to meet other people that have gone through the same thing you have. Didn't know that I had a story until the games. Thank you, folks.
All right, hello. My name is Shantae Brewer, and I am from Chicago, Illinois. And I am 16 months post-heart transplant here at the Transplant Games, that I absolutely love this entire experience. And my advice that I would give to someone who is pre-transplant would simply be, do not give up. Yes, the road may be tough, and I'm not going to lie to you, the things that you're going to endure post-transplant, it is going to be a life adjustment, but please believe that you indeed can make it. Hold on to your faith, stand firm on it, and know that God didn't bring you this far just to leave you. That literally you are amazing. You are stronger than you know, because your strength is not just embodied in you. It's all those around you, and everything is being orchestrated to work out for your good. So do not give up. Please do not give up, because on this other side, you can be here with us in 2 more years at the next Transplant Games.
Thank you for listening to the Pre to Post Transplant Podcast. Please be sure to subscribe to the podcast and follow us on Facebook. Oh, and if you have not signed up to be an organ donor, please visit www.organdonor.gov and register today. You too can save lives.